Welcome to the Dan Stevens Show. I have with me today the wonderful Terry O'Neill. As you'll see by the name of the episode, the title of the episode, it's primarily about boxing, but it'll hopefully splinter off into other things as well. How are you doing, Terry?
All good, mate. How are you?
Brilliant. Delighted to have you here. It's been
Thanks
a
for
while.
having me.
It's been a while coming.
Yep, indeed. Ships in the night.
Yes.
We kept missing each other for a while there.
Yeah, but you've taken time out from your little family and made the time to come all the way out to Blanchardstown. So really appreciate it, Terry.
Cheers, bud.
Yeah, so I'm going to get straight into it. I mean, you're a man of many talents, I will say. As in acting, stand-up comedy. But it all kind of started around boxing in Dublin. Is that right? You're a Dublin man, aren't you?
Dublin, true and true.
Yeah.
My parents, my grandparents, great-grandparents, as far as I know, back in the lineage, they're all Dubs.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
All your grandparents?
And the great-grandparents too, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's proper Dublin.
Proper Dublin, my blood is blue.
Very Irish.
Yeah.
How are you so good looking? Seriously. A very handsome man.
Maybe there's a bit of mixing going on.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'd like
to think there was.
Is there a bit of Mexican with that moustache?
Bit of Mexican, yeah. I'd rather be a Mexican than be accused of being like a stony batter barista, which I've been recently.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Like, is that a macchiato you want there, or a skim milk flat white?
Yeah. For anyone just listening, Terry has I would say it's handlebar moustache.
It's handlebar-esque. It's in the territory. It's in the
Yes.
conversation for being called a handlebar, I think.
Yeah.
So this is, for anyone who is watching, this is for, it's not my new look. It's for a role. I'm doing a James Joyce one-man show called Grace. It's from the Dubliners. And we're doing it in the James Joyce Centre for Bloomsday. 5 shows on the 14th, 15th and 16th. 5 shows across those days. So if they look like a man circa 1906 or so.
The 14, 15 and 16 of which month?
Of June.
Of June.
Yeah,
Right.
of June.
So that's next week.
That's, 2 weeks' time.
Oh, let's see. Sorry, I'm way ahead of myself. So about a week from when this comes out. This will be out. It's going to be Tuesday today. When this comes out, Tuesday the 8th, I think, or something. Anyway, go and check it out, guys, if you want. But
James Joyce Centre.
what?
James Joyce Centre.
Where's that in Dublin City?
It's North Great Georgia Street, I think it's called. It's just off Cable Street, basically.
Right.
It's like a James Joyce kind of heritage centre, a bit of a museum and stuff, and they do shows there too.
Cool. So you also, the first time that I kind of came across your work was a show called Rope-a-Dope that you wrote and performed in, which it was like a boxing nostalgia comedy show. Would that be a good
I think
description?
it's a good way of putting it, yeah, certainly. It's like, the way I describe it is, it's an autobiographical story. It's very personal. It's about my own background as a boxer. And as a young man with an idealistic kind of dream, and chasing this dream, and then how, like, your compass gets pulled a different way, and you start losing interest in one thing, and maybe the dream you sold yourself wasn't, for one, it wasn't working out the way you hoped, I suppose. I wasn't Sugar Ray Robinson, and also kind of my eye got turned a little bit. I kind of fell out of love with the whole drudgery of training and stuff like that every day, and went more into performance then. And then it's also a trip through boxing history, the kind of the wacky, the weird, the wonderful, the sad, the tragic,
Yeah.
So all those elements I tried to combine.
Yeah. And you say you trained every day with boxing?
Pretty much, yeah.
From what age?
From I was 12, just going on 13 when I first walked into a boxing club.
And how did that come about? Was there an incident? Like, was it something with self-defense? Did you just like boxing? Did your dad
Like, so
make you, or what?
yeah, no. So the kind of, I suppose, the a funnier version would be, I got robbed by these Traveller kids on a Saturday, and I started
you were
boxing on the
stolen,
Monday.
like they robbed you.
They stole me. Yeah, they put
You
me
in
into
a
the high ice. Yeah. No, I was walking with my cousin around. There was like around the back of Nuckrove Shopping Centre. My dad was playing football. My dad and my uncle, and me and my cousin went, and we were going to get a gum shield. Like, this is how I know it's not actually accurate to say I start because of that, because we were getting a gum shield already with an eye towards starting boxing together.
All right.
So, and anyway, just as chance would have it, we got surrounded by these kids. one of them had a rock, and one of them grabbed and, get off with your jacket, take your jacket off. And I was like, ah, and my cousin broke away, and I was stranded there, had to give them my jacket.
What age?
I was 12.
12.
They were 6 or 7. No, they were a little bit older, but not by much. Mostly girls now. Mostly girls. I can admit that now, finally.
Really?
They were mostly girls, but there was
Right.
about 8 of them. And but the kid who had a rock, that was a boy. That was a boy. I want to point that out. So that happened, and then but my uncle got my jacket back. In fairness, my
I'd
uncle.
say with regards fighting ability, Traveller Girl would be the equivalent of regular boy. Maybe.
Probably, yep. Certainly at that age, I think so. Yep, they were wild, but
You got the
yeah.
jacket
So I
back.
got my uncle was like, absolutely zero fucks given. My uncle picked me up. Then my cousin had ran back and got my uncle, and my uncle he was not being taken off the sub. He put his jacket on. He drove into one of the halting sites, and he went around and said, "Did you see And he went and asked everyone about these kids, and he went and found 2 of them and got my jacket back in the end.
Right.
So yeah, had £6 my jacket. I got £5 back. So
Not too bad.
it was all right. It was all
Yeah.
right. And then I started boxing on the Monday. But as I said, to be honest with you, the running order is kind of slightly reshuffled there. I was obviously starting boxing already. If the purpose I went to Nook Grove Shopping Centre for was to get a gum shield.
Yeah. Right.
And I guess sorry to answer your question. I started boxing because I really was, and I tried beforehand playing football, stuff like that. Was never any good, no real interest in it, And I was always fascinated. My hero as a child growing up was Bruce Lee.
Bruce
so always, yeah, massively so. What was martial arts, combat sports, that kind of thing, and then the Rocky movies too. So they got this idea in my head when I was 12. Wanted to start boxing, and eventually I taught my cousin and then my mate in school into coming with me the first time, and I stuck it out. My cousin never went back again. My other mate stuck it out for about 2 or 3 months, but I just from the age of 12 was absolutely it was my road to Damascus moment. I walked in there just mouth agape. My dad would still tell the story about he walked in with me the first time, the way I just looked around and I was just smitten by the whole thing, the whole atmosphere, the smell. I talk about this in the show. The smell is like a mixture of sweat, disinfectant, leather and cheap deodorant, and it's the same smell in every boxing gym in the world, from Dorset Street, Dublin to Havana, Cuba,
Really?
and you get to love that smell. Yeah.
Jesus. I nearly want to start myself now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's
Yeah, I thought I'd start the episode off with the boxing stuff because it's a good hook,
hey,
Huh?
put a boom boom.
That's pretty cool though. I didn't know that about. Is that a true fact? No matter where you go, boxing. gyms feel
I
the
think
same.
any boxer you would ask would say there's a certain recognizable smell that and
Yeah.
you know the old thing that they say your sense of smell is the most strongly linked with memory and nostalgia.
Of course.
So it's you get a smell and straight away you're taken back.
Yeah.
Whereas you could describe this, you might see a site and you would go, oh geez, I remember this. I was walking through Blanchardstown before I met you. I remember being 16 and working out there on site and stuff, and I was transported back a bit. But if I got a certain smell,
Yeah.
I would definitely.
You worked on the Blanchardstown Centre site for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That smell though, I guess when you talk about the recognition of smells, when you think of that smell, does it also represent camaraderie to you and hard work and grit and determination?
Yep.
Would you associate that with boxing?
That and also fear.
Oh, right.
So it's linked with fear and nerves and stuff like that. It's all linked together, and it's a real exciting kind of mesh together,
Yeah.
I suppose as obviously a comic, you can liken it to, especially early on, that bit of nerves starting out. But I guarantee you, if you went back, where was your first gig?
Giggles open mic
Where
on
was
Baggot
Giggles
Street.
again?
Bill Connery.
Oh
ran it.
yeah. The pub on the corner there,
Yeah,
the Wellington, was it?
And it used to be called the Wellington, and then it was called.
The Duke or something? No, not the Duke.
I forget the name of it.
But anyway, I was gonna say that if you went back there, say, and went to the bathroom or whatever, you kind of maybe you gathered your thoughts beforehand, you'd kind of feel a nice bit of nostalgia, I'd imagine, but it's also tinged with that bit of nervous excitement and stuff. I'm obviously on mind reading, telling you that's how you'd feel, but that's how I'd feel when I walk into a boxing gym now. You feel at once at home, but then also that little feeling of trepidation and going, fucking hell, this is the unknown. You're Andy Dufresne walking into Shawshank Prison a little bit when you first walk in. You're the new fish. Everyone looks at you.
Yeah.
Sizing you up.
I had that in Florida when I got in there.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. I'm in a jumpsuit. I looked well enough.
Yeah.
And I got, but I know that feeling, yeah. It's let's go time. There's no going back. You just have to go.
Yeah, that's it.
you've
You're on the
committed
roller
yourself.
coaster, the seatbelt is strapped
Yeah.
in, you're locked in, so too late to turn back.
Barella was the place.
Barella.
Yeah. Fair play to Bill Connery. He ran that well. It was lovely. We had a brief conversation a little while back because me and Terry run a gig together on every Sunday night in Bruxelles downstairs called Sunday Heroes Comedy. We're on the flyer. I'm actually going to put a picture of the flyer up here. Every Sunday except bank holidays. Make it your Sunday habit.
8:30 every Sunday.
Yeah, and there's parking within like 5 minutes of it. Drive in.
Free entry.
Free entry.
Sexy
Parking.
people.
Park on Stephen's Green on a Sunday night. It's free. Come in, have a laugh. Whatever. We'd love to see you. We need some regulars, don't we, Terry?
Yes, please. We need regulars. We need bums on seats. We need you specifically.
We even need irregulars.
Yeah,
Anything
irregulars.
Anyway.
Isn't that what Ella means? Bar Ella. Is that Ella means other?
Other, yeah.
Other customer Ella.
Yeah, because we're out there on Grafton Street every Sunday night, absolutely grinding, trying to get people in, flyering, which is fun in itself. It's fine, it's part of it. But can you imagine if we didn't have to do that? If we just had people that came every week?
If you had regulars.
Yeah.
If we had
That'd
these
be great.
guys, it'd
Yeah.
be brilliant.
So Sunday Heroes, follow the page actually, and yeah, every Sunday except on bank holiday weekends in Bruxelles, just off Grafton Street.
Fill in a statue. It's the landmark.
Fill in a statue. Anyway,
It's the hard sell.
moving on from that, you said something very interesting to me a few weeks back. We got talking about, it was after one of the gigs on a Sunday, that's why it came into my head, about it was something that, I don't know if you heard this or if it was something that you were messing around with in your head, but the similarity in the psychology between comedians and boxers in their styles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought that was really got my psychological juices flowing. That did.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we were kind of talking about was the way, say, with certain boxers, you get like, you might see a kind of boxer who's their fighting style is they're kind of cavalier, going forward, throwing punches, aggressive, want to make the fight, make the action. And then you get, I suppose, a cliche version would be like an Eastern European kind of style boxer who just like stays back on the back foot, very happy to just jab and win, not really let emotion get involved at all. Usyk a little bit, but Usyk not so much because Usyk does get involved.
Oh yeah, right.
I'd say Dmitry Bivol, if anyone knows him, he's a Russian boxer who won last weekend, but he's very happy to win 12 rounds to nil and never take a chance, just win. The crowd could be booing, completely tuned out. Mayweather, good example. Good.
Right.
Floyd Mayweather, just happy to use his shoulder roll defense, don't get touched, don't get hit, and win 12-0. That's fine for him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't want to excite once he wins at the end of the day. Then you get like, say, a Ricky Hatton. And I think that kind of like, he was much more kind of cavalier and gun-ho, much more mercurial, you know what I mean? And even his personality, and God rest him, I mean, it looks like he took his own life in the end. I mean, he's I think he definitely was an emotional kind of character. Probably very up and down, and that kind of reflects itself in his ring style. Makes him much more entertaining fighter to watch.
Yeah.
But I think that I just got thinking about that, and I don't know if I heard it somewhere else or not, but I was kind of likening it to comedy as well. And you see certain comedians who are really like, I guess an oversimplification would be to say some comedians are good MCs and are kind of like a bit of like, they'd be good in the playground, kind of like schoolyard. Don't want to say schoolyard bully, but kind of good at riffing and slagging people off, whatever it might be. Having good persona, good
life and soul of the party.
Yeah, exactly that. And then you got other comedians are much more kind of insular, and kind of like more of a watcher down the back. And again, it's oversimplification, but most of those will be really good joke writers.
Yeah.
And
more tactical.
Yeah, I think so. More of an observer look, watching, and then really strong material, and probably the performance is what they kind of need to work on.
Yeah.
Whereas the former in the group maybe work on they're natural performers who need to work on the writing.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a little bit like, where your personality off stage reflects how you perform on stage, be it boxing or comedy. Now, I'm sure there's lots of examples where I'm wrong on that, but it's
very interesting to think about. I think in all walks of life, just in any job in general, or just in people, I think, when I tried to think of what type of boxer I'd be, or what type of boxer my brother would be, or anyone that's not a boxer, I think maybe your personality would reflect your boxing style. Would it?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I mean, I think my biggest flaw probably as a boxer looking back was that I did get emotional sometimes.
Right.
And
Now just give us some context. So, when did you start fighting like competitively?
I my first fight pretty quick after starting. I think I had my first fight at about 3 months. I was boxing about 3 months, which is quickish, not the quickest ever, but it's quickish. And believe it or not, my first fight was 13. I was already feeling like I had to make up ground because a lot of my opponents, they started boxing at 7 or 8.
Right.
You know, there's lots of lads who were like won the All Irelands every year from the age of 11, which is the first year you can box competitively. 11 all the way up
So
through
you can
12.
box competitively at 11?
At 11, yeah.
Wow.
Whereas I was 13 when I started competing.
All
Excuse me.
head guards, yeah?
Headgear on, yeah, but 10-ounce gloves, headgear on.
10
And-
ounces, what? Is that like the thickest?
That's the fighting gloves, so that means there's less padding in them.
Okay.
So you'd spar with 16-ounce gloves on mostly, and then you fight with 10-ounce on. So it's more a much harder impact on fighting, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's less cushion on the glove. In the pros, it's 10-ounce from light middleweight, 154 pounds above, and up till 147 pounds, which is welterweight, it's 8-ounce. So there's
Right.
nothing on those gloves.
Wow. All right. And so, how many fights did you have in total? Like, what age did you start and what age did you finish?
My
Or
last
how many years
fight,
were you going for?
yeah, last fight I was 24, and I had about roughly around 120 or 130 fights all told.
Mm.
So quite a few.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What was the highest level you boxed at?
I was Irish champion a couple of times, and I boxed for Ireland 15 times. So that was the highest I went. Yeah.
What like age range was that in?
I won the under-21s when I was 18, and the intermediates, which is now the seniors, when I was same year. So from the age of 18, I was boxing at the senior level.
Yeah.
In and out of the Irish squad. I was never like, I was kind of like more the B team, drafted in and out. Say, you know, I wasn't. Oh, for the juniors, I was Irish Junior International, like number 1 for a while. But in terms of seniors, I was in and out. There was always a guy above me.
Yeah.
You know, I won a box off one time. Like it's kind of complex to explain, but it's like, you know, with the selection, there was always 3 of us, maybe 4 of us, and we kind of swap around a
The
bit.
cream of the crop.
Well, yeah, they were the number 1 was for sure.
Yeah.
Roy Sheehan, my nemesis at the time from Athy, he was like, his style was just kryptonite for me. Talk about different styles and stuff. He was like 6'2", hang on the back foot, like, you know, throw lots of feints, wouldn't engage at all. Whereas I was trying to get stuck in, he would draw me in, counter and move. So I found him quite tricky.
So what was your style then?
I modeled myself after Ricky Hatton, who I just mentioned there. So I did that definitely cost me in the amateurs too, because there wasn't really like I had a much more aggressive style. I like boxing and moving too if someone came and attacked me, but I would try and hunt them down, Ricky Hatton style. Look for body shots, you know, look for a left hook to the body was probably my best shot. It was most of my knockouts were from a left hook to the body. But in terms of scoring points, that was my go-to. That was my finisher. Yeah, finish him.
Left hook to the body.
Left hook to the liver.
Wow.
That was my body punch, baby. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of if I could have it all over to do again, if my son was boxing, I'd say, which I don't know if I want him to box or not, say, but knowing what I know now about head trauma and such, CTE, all that stuff is scary. But I think boxing and picking your points and stuff like that, scoring points as opposed to looking to do damage, would probably be the way to go more so.
Yeah. I've never been a boxer myself, but I've punched a bubby mate a few times.
Yahoo!
No, I haven't really.
Once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice. Yeah, getting an old drunk woman. But it's 120 something fights.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
And what's your record?
I'd say I lost about 30 something. So I probably, let's say maybe roughly a 190 lost 35, something like that. Maybe. So more wins than losses.
Yeah.
I lost sometimes to and again, this is another thing that kind of looking back, I wish I could do it again and just be more consistent. I remember sometimes I'd lose to somebody who I absolutely should have fucking beat in a heartbeat.
Really?
And my head wasn't there. I'd get into the ring and I remember it being like a out of body experience. It's the last round before you knew it, like bing, ding, ding, and I go, 7 points behind and I'm chasing it now. And then other times I'd beat somebody, like, for whatever reason, like when I boxed away from home, the last, I think, 6 or 7 years of my boxing, every time I boxed away, like America, Spain, Germany, Holland, like wherever it was, all over the UK, I never lost. Always won away from home. The fights I lost were at home. So that kind of screams to me of like not dealing with the pressure as well as I probably would have. Just putting too much pressure on myself, basically.
And with the eyes on you a bit more.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was all internal, really. It wasn't the external pressure; it was internal.
Yeah.
And when I went away from home, when I was the underdog, or when the crowd booed, I absolutely just completely took it on my stride.
Right. Maybe even use it as fuel. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Whereas when you're expected to win, you're at home. For some reason, that didn't really gel well with me.
Wow, you can kind of see, like, just as an example, I noticed that as a Manchester United fan for the last while,
Me too.
they'd be very underwhelming at home a lot of the time with the pressure, and then it's as if the expectation worked against them.
Yeah.
But then going away when you feel like it probably suited your style, didn't it as well? Like going away in that, it's like, yeah, right, I'm just gonna go balls to the wall here and see how it
Yeah,
goes.
maybe so.
You
I think
know?
it was just yeah, it's funny, but it was definitely. I don't think it was any coincidence that most of my best wins were away from home.
Yeah. What was your best win of all time in your head? That's most memorable.
Well, one that springs to mind just because it was my first international ever, and I won it in the first round, was Ireland against Italy, and I was 18 years of age. It was my first international of any kind, and I stopped them in the first round with left hook to the body. The aforementioned left hook to the body,
Oh
but I
God.
kind of like set up with, like, so the thing as well about boxing is, like, especially when someone's going forward and attacking or working on the inside, to the untrained eye it might look like these lads are just, bludgeoning each other's heads, but there's a lot of craft still involved. So I noticed with this guy that every time I jabbed to the head, this is not great radio, great podcast, I guess, like, if you're not watching, but every time I jabbed to the head, he'd lift his hands up extra high, like kind of peekaboo style with his gloves, thereby leaving his body exposed.
Okay.
So I kept on touching him to the head, and eventually let him get comfortable with that, and then followed up with everything I had with left hook to the body after that, once his gloves went up really high. So
Wow.
I liked that fight because it was my first international, and just I liked the setup for the knockout. There was a bit of playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah, right. He was like, oh, mamma mia.
Mamma mia, cazzo!
Mamma mia. So did he go down straight away then?
Down he went.
Jesus. It's a different sort of KO, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like you wouldn't see Rocky finishing someone off with a left.
No, it's not as dramatic on
it's
camera.
not dramatic. Yeah,
But it's it's for someone who never really been winded by a body shot. I'm sure everybody has probably fallen off a swing. Not a feeling. You ever fall off a swing or something and you get winded from behind?
Yeah.
You hit your back.
Yeah.
It's like that basically.
Yeah.
You get wind. It's like trying to breathe through a straw. You can't
Yeah.
get your breath back at all, and it only lasts normally for like maybe 10 seconds,
I
20
think-
seconds. But
I've had it playing Gaelic football.
Yeah.
Where you get hit with a shoulder, and I've hit people with them and felt so bad as well. But like, yeah, it's a shortness of breath for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing. Well, I mean, Terry, what an absolute gentleman to not be giving people the old CTE.
yeah,
You're like, I'm not going to give them head trauma.
It was
I'm just
before I
going to.
knew about any of that. but,
ruin their
I think I was
insides.
ahead of the game on that front.
Yeah,
I'll attack your liver, not your brain.
yeah. What a gent. Is it hitting the liver, that shot, or is it
Left
hitting
hook
the
to the
ribs?
liver,
Yeah.
so your liver's your right side.
Okay.
So left hook to the liver's going to hit the
You got
left hook to the body.
trying to get it in under the rib cage.
Yeah, exactly.
It just
Yeah.
fits the hand perfect.
Barry McGuigan called it the floating rib, the bottom rib there.
Wow.
Mm.
Jesus.
Easiest rib to break.
Fascinating stuff. I just want to say now, guys, I have a few questions here for Terry that pertain to a bit of self-defense out on the streets and experiences that he might have had on these streets. But I just want to say, if you could please follow on Spotify and rate 5 stars. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe and share the episode with people that you think might like it. That'd be great. If you want to donate to buy guests a coffee, there's a link in the episode description. You bought Terry a latte today in Butler's, so
And a free chocolate.
free chocolate as well.
Other coffee shops are available.
Pink Himalayan.
We're not getting sponsored by them, are we? You get
No sponsorship around
no
here.
sponsorship. Other
I'll
coffee
say-
shops are available.
I tell you, I'll say whatever I want on this until I get a sponsor.
then I might very subtly change my politics and my opinions.
If anyone wants to sponsor, by the way, this Rubik's Cube is not stuck here. I can put something else here. I can put your, if it was a butcher, or whatever.
Could be Bully the
I
Bull.
think a couple of butchers have followed me lately. So.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know.
What's the connection with the butchers, do you think?
I don't know. Just I'm beefy sort
Not
of.
the Shank Hill butchers, I hope. They're bad eggs.
Are they?
Oh. Don't mention them. Don't mention the war. They were the famous. They all had names like Basher Bates or fucking Skullduggery Thompson.
Oh, up north.
And they'd go up north and they'd catch Catholics. They'd see someone leaving a Catholic area and they'd hit them over the fucking head with a tire iron or whatever.
Jesus.
They'd bring them up to like the Berlin Bar or something it was called. They'd torture you to death basically. And I think they were such fuck ups. They killed more Protestants than Catholics almost. They just anyone who was walking out of a Catholic area. But it's scary stuff.
There's a Shank Hill beside Bray as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there
mad,
is.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Mm.
Are they related?
There must be a butcher shop in Shank Hill, is there? I wonder what they call
Both named after prison knives. Shank.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit just before I get into the questions, 30 or the. So, what was it that kind of inspired you to get into acting, or how did that come about then? Did you start doing stand-up comedy or acting first then?
Acting first. So my path doing stand-up is a bit more boring, to be honest, because I would say that I started acting. I went to Bull Alley, which is now it was a college, acting college. A few good people came. Tommy Tiernan trained there actually as an actor,
right.
And a few good people you'd know trained out of there. They've since got their funding cut and stuff, so it's not quite the course it once was, I don't think. But a lot of good people came out there at the time. I went there first of all, then I went to the factory, which is now called Bow Street training. Right. That was all for screen acting. Barry Keoghan was in my class there actually. He's doing all right. So you might have heard of him.
Barry Keoghan, yeah. Do you know him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've not spoken to him in years, but he's a nice guy.
We'll give him a shout out. How are you, Barry?
Barry, if you're interested in any sponsorship, we can put
I'm gonna tag him.
Your face right there if you want.
Tag him. It's just because I think he's cool. It's not because I'm trying to get people to know the podcast or anything. I'm just gonna tag him.
Yeah, that's it. Just tag him. There's no.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't.
Me and him are like this, you know.
Don't need him to see it or anything. Anyway.
So I start. So
have you chatted to him? Barry
not lately.
Keoghan?
Not lately.
But back then, did you get on?
Oh yeah, of course.
Ever go for a pint or?
No, I do remember though. I had this kind of that was a bit of an embarrassing interaction with him a few years ago. I remember I just got cast in a TV show called Striking Out, and I bumped into Barry Keoghan in a little subway just on Dame Street there, and I was like, he was, oh, what's the story, Teddy? How are you getting on? So, I just got cast today in this, and I was, oh yeah, nattering on about this RTE show I got cast in. I was like, what about you? So, I got cast as well. I'm not allowed to say what it is, but I got cast in something too. It was fucking Dunkirk. It was Dunkirk he just got cast in. Christopher Nolan. I was bragging about my RTE show one episode, and he was just cast in the biggest blockbuster of the year.
Oh my god.
So I was a bit cringe when I found out what that role was that he got cast, and I was the one talking about mine. So anyway, sorry to meandering again.
No, I asked you about Barry there.
Yeah, so I started doing stand-up a few years, like this, when I was in my mid-20s then, say. I did it for a little bit, then I drifted away, and didn't do it for years and years, so I started back then, probably 2017, something like that maybe.
With comedy.
I was acting the whole way through. I kind of, in my head, I was thinking, like, no, I need to pick a lane here, you're either James Dean, all serious kind of actor, this dark fucking brooding figure, or else a comedian. And then I was like, they're both creative endeavours, so why not have a go at both?
Yeah.
And certainly there was times even in the ensuing years there where I'd say doing a play or doing it some TV stuff or a film where I would drift away from stand-up again and then come back into it. So I was less consistent, say, than you've been since you started. But the last couple of years I've been more consistent with comedy, yeah.
And so what would you say is the biggest show that you've been in and the biggest play that you've been in? What's your biggest roles on the stage and on the TV so far?
It's hard to say what the biggest
you've
is.
Enjoyed the most, I'd say.
Yeah, okay. Because I mean, I've done 4 plays in the Gate, one in the Abbey, one in the Gaiety Theatre. So stuff like that are kind of the bigger shows, I guess.
Yeah.
My most recent of the bigger kind of shows was King Lear last year. I played Cornwall, who was known for gouging out the eyes on stage. That That was of theatre wise. That was my that was the last kind of bigger role I had in terms of a bigger stage, bigger theatre.
I went to see you there as well.
Yes,
yeah, I was up the front.
Yeah,
I remember.
I tried to throw the eye at you.
He was playing Cornwall, and he had your man on the ground gouging out his eyes.
Stuart Graham, great actor.
Next thing you know, left hook to the liver. Boom.
Yo, give me that.
His eyes popped out. No, that was great though. I really enjoyed. I studied that in school.
Yeah,
so
right.
I think a lot of Irish people would have in their leaving certs whenever we did it. And is asking you, and does actors like to kind of not let people know their age? Is that a thing?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Why is that? No, because I'm not going to ask you.
Well, I don't mind, but it's I guess it's for casting directors when they pigeonhole you. So say if a cast director just has you, it's probably not the worst thing. So basically in your CV, your acting CV, you'll have playing range, and you might put a massive, you might just cast the net and say 28 to 38 or whatever it might be, like a massive, like a massive area there for them to cast you in, rather than say, oh, I'm 35, oh, I'm 29, oh, I'm 43, whatever it might be, because then you're pigeonholed. And I mean, it does kind of follow suit. The cast directors might say, oh, he's like this age, well, that role is too young for him, that role is too old for him. So it's grand. You're better off than knowing your playing range. Yeah,
and is there an advantage to having it to being younger or older in acting? Because surely there's roles for both. No.
Roles for both, but no, it's great to be. I mean, in any endeavor, youth is good, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't mind being a 22-year-old comic, or a 21-year-old actor, or a fucking 18-year-old boxer again. Like it is currency.
Everybody views youth differently. I don't know. I enjoy now. If I didn't know that I should be enjoying it back when I was in my mid-20s, I was feeling too much pressure. I ran a business with my dad and stuff. I was like trying to really be a success at that stage myself. I really tried to. I was trying to. So it would have been 11, 12 years ago when I was 25, 26. At that time, I had a company doing LED lighting. So LED lighting was just coming in at the time, which is about 90% more efficient than the old fluorescent lighting and all that. And what I did was, I thought I was being smart, but I was so naive. I got the email of every pub and hotel in Dublin, and I pitched an idea to them that I would come in, and now this is me being a real optimist, a real go-getter. Yeah, and I pitched them an idea that I would come in, because I'd learned how to calculate the exact savings that you'd make if you changed your whole building from the old lighting to LED.
Yeah.
So I sent an email out. A few of them got back to me, and I'd do these LED surveys. It would take a few days. I'd count every light fitting in the place, and I'd get the equivalent LED light price, and I'd figure out the energy savings over a year, and I would pitch the job to them in payback.
And then they say no.
No, they would just say, thank you very much, we'll be in touch, and then they'd get their own in-house electrician to do all the work.
Sakes. And you've just done this survey.
I've given them all the figures and everything, and being this idealistic, romantic young businessman, I was like, I can't believe that they used me for the information, and I can't blame them.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing. I came to them telling them I'd do it, and then none of them gave me. It would have been a big job. It would have been a great job to even get a few of them to get me going, but none of them ever.
Yeah,
that was a bit of a hit.
It was a bit. I see what you mean.
So I mean, I was doing that when I was in my 20s.
I guess what I mean about this, just like say, I remember being young and feeling like you've got so much time, and say even in terms of like acting, comedy, wherever it might be, being young and just feeling like every now and again I'm like, fucking hell, I need to bleeding. I thought I'd be a lot further ahead in the game at this point in my life. Now, I kind of say that slightly facetiously. I'm kind of jokingly saying that I wish I was younger. Not really. I'm at a happier stage of my life now for sure than I was when I was 22 or whatever. Definitely.
Yeah. But it takes a lot of hard work to get to that point, though, doesn't it? And a lot of experience. And I think you have to go through that in your 20s and your 30s or whatever. Them early years, as you call them.
Absolutely.
But I think, like anything else, there was a phrase you used earlier. The dog chasing the car when you're having coffee. I think
Yeah,
there's a
it's
bit of
like
that as well.
yeah, absolutely. Like a dog chasing a car, wouldn't know what the fuck to do if they caught the car.
Yeah,
A bit of that.
yeah. I think if I was speaking to my 25-year-old self now, and I said, right, you're gonna be a stand-up comedian, driving around the country, doing a few gigs here and there. You're gonna have a podcast, talking to cool people, where people are actually listening to it and kind of enjoying it. And I'd be like, do you know what? That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
And if I told that guy in his mid-20s, now you are gonna have to go through a good bit of shit to appreciate that, then I'd kind of be like, all right then, give me all the shit. Let's do it.
Yeah.
See you in 10 years.
No, it's good. It's good perspective to have, like, for sure.
But sorry guys, the rain might be banging off the top of the studio here. Don't worry, it's nice.
We're well sheltered too, if you're
Yeah,
worried about
yeah.
us.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to have that perspective, and I think similarly myself, if I told myself at 24, 25, like that, I'd make, even though it's taken a lot longer than I thought. Where's my fame? You know, like, it's taken a lot longer than I thought. At least I'm financially secure enough that I can pay my rent, pay the mortgage,
Yeah.
and I'm making all the money I make is through endeavors that I like to do, basically. You know what I mean? Between training people in boxing, comedy, and acting. That's, I don't do anything else. You know?
Yeah, that rain is thundering down. It's thumping down. But we're on a good roll here, so we're not going to stop. I'm enjoying this conversation. I would imagine in the industry of acting, I would imagine that in a lot of ways, more than any other industry, more than being an electrician, more than boxing, more than anything else, I'd imagine comparison can be the thief of joy. Can it? Would that be a true thing to say about being an actor in Ireland in particular, and such a small country that's produced such big stars? Would you be watching other people and having to search inside yourself to go, look, because I don't know, in comedy we compare ourselves to other people all the time as well, but I think there's two options. It's like, either okay, I can be like resentful and kind of envious of that person, or I can use them as fuel. So is there a bit of that in acting?
There is, for sure, and I think it's hard to look at things sometimes objectively. You know, when you're so emotionally involved, I think having other interests helps, for sure. You know what I mean? Because a lot of actors I know, that the job is all they really focus on, and then it becomes, fuck, where did he get that role? Fuck, where did she get seen for that? Bollocks, what the fuck? Like, you know, it's all that kind of thing. It's not fair, it's not fair. It's not a meritocracy. And it definitely can seem like that, because it's not a meritocracy directly, because someone might get the role because... And I know cast directors who've told me that, like, if you knew how fickle it is sometimes, the end decisions, you wouldn't be offended. It might literally be, fuck, we can't go with Terry because the other guy who's playing the love interest looks too much like him, or he's too tall for her, he's too short for him, whatever it might be. It can be as fickle as that, you know?
Yeah, well.
Or they change the gender or the age of a character last minute. That happens all the time.
Wow.
And all of a sudden you might have been in and now you're out. So that can drive you mad if you don't.
That's a massive. You're after thinking you're getting this massive thing. You see financial stability ahead for like 3 months or 4 months, and then that's just whipped away from you.
I got
like a flash.
I got checked for a TV show a couple of weeks ago, and
you got what?
Like checked, availability checked, like after a couple of auditions.
They message you and say,
I've checked in the biz.
Right.
You're into cool lingo now. I've checked. Yeah. I've checked. Did you have checked me for this podcast, by the way?
Yeah.
You should have been in touch to have checked me.
All right.
Okay,
there
next
you go,
time,
folks.
if we're ever doing it again.
If you're asking someone out for points or asking a man or a woman out on a date, this is just an ab check.
Yeah. And if you're penciled in, I learned this to my detriment. It doesn't mean you have the date or whatever it might be, because they were saying, we're going to pencil Terry in for these dates. And then I was told 2 days before that I don't have the dates anymore. So, you know, that can happen.
Yeah, because pencils having a razor on the end of them, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. So rub Terry's fucking name out and put whoever you want in. So yeah, that does happen, and you can get frustrated. But I think it's great now having comedy as well, which is much more, the expression. You can have an idea in the daytime, and you could go up on stage that evening and try it out.
Yeah.
So it's good. So at the very least, you're scratching that creative itch, I think, with comedy. Yeah. And then with the boxing as well. I'm always fascinated by boxing. It's still my first love in terms of watching boxing, consuming it, like reading about it. following all the podcasts, following what's going on. So I think having other interests is good. Otherwise, you would get beaten down by the seemingly unfairness of it all, you know?
Yeah, and you need something to consume your mind other than your own thoughts, telling you about the other people that are doing the other stuff.
100%.
Yeah. All right, well, Terry, we're going to get into a few questions here.
Let's go.
I think, now this happens, I write a few questions to kind of sometimes lead with or sometimes to come in with at the end, but just I want to say before I do that, the comedy side of things as well, you can really see your the skills that you've learned from acting used in your comedy.
Okay.
As well, in that your delivery and your act outs and your impressions and all that is very unique and original, I think. And now you can tell that for the last couple of years you've been really honing it, because now I think, and I'm now bleeding, I'm 4 years into it now in September, but just as someone who's performed, and we run a gig together and stuff, now you're starting to come into it more and more, and now it's combining with the acting skills, and it's just great to see. Like,
well, thanks very much,
if
man.
That makes sense.
No, well, it does to me. Thanks a million, because I think it was definitely a case of, we talked about different types of performers. I definitely was just coasting and getting by on, whatever kind of stage presence you've learned over the years as a performer, as a boxer, as an actor. Just getting by and kind of coasting a lot, definitely. So I've worked hard lately, the last couple of years on my writing, and then trying to combine, as you say, these, as opposed to, like, you go through a phase. I kind of went through a phase where, like, I'm just an actor. Everyone's going to look at me like he's not really a comedian. I need to just write jokes now. So you stop all the acting stuff.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the acting stuff. And so it's like you scrap whatever you were. I heard, was it Jeff Innocent? Do you know that?
The English
older
guy?
Yeah, older
The bald
comic.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, he's very funny. Heard him talking on a podcast and saying that he rewatched his first ever gig, which was like 27 years prior to when he was talking, something like that. And he said, watching that guy, obviously raw as can be, but it took him 15 or 20 years to get back to that, what he had. So he had something, because then you start, you go on stage, first of all, you do what you think you should do.
Yeah.
And then you start trying to emulate everyone around you, saying, oh, this is what stand-up is, this is what comedy is.
Yeah.
And I totally fell into that trap for a long time. So I think I'm only now kind of coming into doing my own thing and stuff that I'd like to do.
Yeah.
So hopefully
in your process of comedy, of doing stand-up comedy, would you have used, like, writing lines out and learning them in comedy, because that's what you do in acting and it's handy?
I guess
that, like, basically, to learn your material, would you have written it out like an acting script?
No, actually, funny enough, I never did that. Even when I was doing the boxing show Rope It Dope I did in Edinburgh, and then you had the director, Michael James Ford, who's a really grand kind of English guy, a really great theatre voice. So, Terry, any interest in doing Bewley's Theatre? 2 weeks? And I was like, yeah, great, send me the script. I was like, oh, I don't have a script. But it's an hour-long show, what do you mean there's no script? And I said, no, I don't have a script, I'll have to write one, because I just... It's largely the same every night, but I'm winging a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I had to sit down then and the whole learn the discipline of writing the script, transcribing it, and so that I didn't actually do that.
Well, I guess I'm probably thinking of you were an actor doesn't write a script anyway. You read the script, so yeah, it wouldn't really translate anyway.
No, but it's an interesting point, because I guess a lot of actors probably would for that reason.
Well,
they learn it off by rote. Yeah, probably so.
Maybe it's an advantage in remembering your material or something, because I know I'd like to have that discipline of knowing what's coming next in me set.
And would you write bullet points as opposed to, like...
To be honest, no, I just, if I'm testing out new material, I will kind of write it out a bit, but it doesn't work for me.
Kind of like the words are, every word is really important.
Yeah, no, just so I don't forget to do it.
Right.
I try to be as myself as possible on stage, but when I write out stuff, like when I was doing half an hour in Edinburgh last year and I wrote out stuff in order, didn't suit me, because there was no flow. I need my flow. I need to be in the flow.
You definitely have a certain naturalism, even though it doesn't feel as written, you know what I mean, which is a great thing. I think it's not like dip and then punchline, even though you are, if there is a lot of kind of like, kind of set up punchline kind of stuff you do, but there's a lot of misdirection and stuff. But you deliver it quite naturally, I think, which is good.
Yeah, it doesn't suit me to be okay. There's that, and now there's this bit, because it just make it kind of not at the moment. Anyway, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to figure out ourselves, isn't it, in life? But
100%. I feel like an outside pair of eyes can make and that can be very helpful. If someone says, "Do you know what you should do there? You should like see the way."
Any endeavor, as an electrician or as a barber or as anything, I think this is like applicable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very hard to see yourself with a pair of fresh eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there'd be, when I was doing electrical work and fault finding, you might be 2 days trying to find an issue of what is tripping the sockets, or what's tripping the lights, what's going on here, what's the problem, why am I getting this reading? And then someone will come in, say my dad or Paul that I used to work with, they'll come in, and within an hour they'll go, "Have you thought about this?" And you'd be like, "Oh no, I was so in my own head that I didn't even think of disconnecting that."
Right. Speaking of electricians, I was talking to the manager of Bruxelles, our gig actually. He was looking at getting LEDs replaced. He was looking to see just how much he could save over the course of a year. If you've any interest, doing a pro bono gig.
Look, I'll email him. He's on my list. Right, Terry, a few questions for you. And these are by no means quick fire, but they're kind of simplified down stuff that I just thought. What would a regular person that's never done boxing want to know or be thinking about, or be curious about? And this is going to a man who's been in 130 scraps in the ring.
Ish.
Right. This is probably going to be obvious, but what's your favourite combo in the ring?
Favourite combo in the ring? I think that would be 1-2 to the head, left hook to the body. And for the very reason I've just brought up boxing the Italian guy, is you draw the attention to the head, because it's human nature. Like, you hit someone in the head, and no matter how experienced you are, 9 times out of 10 you're going to put your hands up high to protect yourself, and your arms are only so long, so you're going to leave your ribs exposed. So if you can touch the head, and the second shot works almost as a blinder, so the eyes can't see the left hook coming into the body. So right. 1-2 to the head, left hook underneath the elbow.
So 1-2 is jabs, is it?
Yeah,
left jab,
yeah,
right
being
jab.
that I'm orthodox, your left hand first, left hand, right hand, left hook to the body.
That's your favourite combo?
That would be my favourite, I think, yeah.
Mine would probably be chicken and chips, I'd say.
No sauce?
No, not anymore, I'm on a diet. Okay, so, again, from an experienced boxer, if someone was in a self-defense scenario, even if it's a woman or a man or someone feels threatened, someone has walked up to them and they think they might have a knife on them, they're trying to rob someone, what would you say would be the best if they can't run, they're cornered, they can't
bite them
run,
on the ear, eye gouge, something like that maybe.
Would you go dirty first?
Oh, yeah, go straight to the dirt, get clean afterwards, yeah.
Really?
This is, "Put up your jukes, sir, Marcus of Queensbury, I challenge you to a proper bout of fisticuffs." No, I think actually the Tash Buddy, it works for that actually, doesn't it? Like the bare knuckle lean back kind of boxer. No, I think that
you have to get serious here. This could save someone's life, Terry.
Right.
And I'm putting this on you. And then if someone dies, it's your fault.
Okay, I don't want anyone to die.
I don't want to lose any followers.
No, fuck, that could be the regular in Bruxelles every Sunday.
Exactly.
So if you're walking home late from Bruxelles, my Dan and myself could accompany you for one. That's part of the service, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it is.
That's up there with the LED lights. Promise. We'll give you how many lives we'll save if we can work that out over the course of a year.
Yeah.
Can we, like, if we walk someone to the car, one person per night will walk to the car after the show, and I think that if you can hit someone, the element of surprise is everything. So, even in self-defense classes and stuff like this, they teach you, which it is a bit dirty again. If someone is going to mug you, the best thing to do, as opposed to a square. Did you ever see Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
No.
It's a great movie. Check that one out, mate. That's homework, mate. That should be like your homework. Check that. That goes for everyone. Homework is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I'm gonna watch it outside.
There's a bit in it that my dad, my dad's a real old school hard man. Like, it's my favourite scene in movie history. It's the kick in the bollocks, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So basically, it's along the lines of, quick version is like, Butch is Paul Newman, and he's kind of getting a bit old, and some big huge motherfucker says, I don't think you're running things right around this gang anymore. We shouldn't be listening to you. I want to be the leader. And Butch is like, says to the Sundance Kid, who's Robert Redford, what do you think? Can I take him? Robert Redford's like, absolutely not. So the big guy pulls out a big machete knife, you know, because it's going to be a duel. And Paul Newman says, whoa, before we start, let's think about the rules.
The machete is actually pretty relevant to Dublin at the moment, isn't it?
I know, fucking hell.
Anyway,
yeah.
go on.
Jesus, yeah. Wait to bring it dark.
No, but this is real. This makes it more real.
It is, yeah.
In self-defense.
Your man pulls out a knife. And Paul Newman says, whoa, before we start, let's talk about the rules. And your man kind of gets distracted, says, rules? What rules? He says, I go 1, 2, 3, go. And he kicks him in the bollocks before he even says the rules. Oh, your man goes down his hunkers, kicks him again. So I definitely think there's an element, if someone's going to attack you, be first.
All right.
So if someone steps up to you and they're really going to mug you or put hands on you, fucking hit him before he can complete what he was going to do.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
The best option for that would be a kick in the balls.
Kicking the balls, baby. Kicking the balls. Yeah.
So if you're a mugger, wear a cup. All right.
Kicking the balls and then one to the head.
And muggers wear cups.
Yeah, muggers wear a jock strap.
Yeah, jockstrap.
If you're that way inclined.
Yeah, we help everyone out here. No, that's good.
We don't discriminate.
I'll remember that now. Okay. Have you ever had to use your boxing skills in your day-to-day life?
Yes.
Can you give us an example of that, please, that you feel comfortable with sharing?
I don't know if I'm comfortable sharing them. No, it would have. I guess, right,
there would have drink involved, Terry.
There was drink taken, father.
100% of the time.
100%, yes. 99% of the time on
Right.
both parts. So it just was like, it used to be like almost like, it was almost drawn to me like a magnet when I was in my youth.
Yeah.
In my late teens, early 20s, say, going out drinking, gallivanting, there will always be an incident or other. Not all the time, but more often than not, there will be some kind of incident in town. Always went out to town, always big drinking involved, and someone would try and put hands on you, like regularly on the way home or something like that. That would happen regularly. Like, you know, town. And I guess, like, looking back, I could have avoided some of it, but I never went looking for it. But definitely, there was a lot of altercations where somebody would, when you fucking looking at or something like that, could be as simple as that. Look at you fucking queers there, fucking hook, whatever, stuff like that. People would just start out of nowhere, and it would get physical then. Time I could tell you about. Let me think. What's kind of PC enough to tell you about. I guess one time a guy in a nightclub banged into my now wife Amy, my girlfriend, time, and spilled the drink all over her. And I was like, "Oh man, like, you know, like what are you doing? Relax there, will you?" And straight away he threw a nut on me, like threw a headbutt on me.
Oh wow!
So I hit him a couple of digs. That was pure self defense, and I responded. I didn't strike him first. Like, that wasn't a mugger. That was just a fella looking for a knock, you know.
Body shot?
No, not in the street fight. No. I wasn't worried about his CTE.
Right. What's your record on the streets, would you say?
I've won more than I've lost for sure. Yeah.
Like
but also,
2, or?
It's dangerous. It's dangerous too. I mean, one time.
So humble. Boxers are really humble. He doesn't like talking about the fact
one
that
time there was an
the shite out of
altercation
people.
starting. A fella hit me mate, and I was running to jump in, and I slipped in the wet. And all of a sudden, all his mates just turned and started stamping on me head, like for about 5 seconds.
Wow.
10 seconds. I was covered up rolling, and I come up like the Elephant Man. My eyes were closed, like with swelling after that. It only took about 5 seconds. So it's, it can go that way too.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have the wherewithal to stay calm and block and like cover my head, I probably could have been danced to death, you know?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So it's dangerous. Don't fight in the street, people. And don't mug people either.
Yeah. Good. I like it. We've done this one. Does the discipline stay with you after you finish boxing? Because it's constant training, isn't it? Does it stay with you for life?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I don't know if your discipline in terms of lifestyle stays with you, because most of the time it's the classic thing that you stop all this discipline and you start eating everything and anything, and you start drinking
on what you missed out, basically.
Exactly that, yeah. Now, right. I was luckily enough, I was drinking most weekends.
What you missed out on, I mean.
Even when I was boxing.
On what you missed out.
Yeah,
CTE here,
I knew what you meant. Even when I was boxing for Ireland, I was still drinking the weekends, to be honest with you. Which, again, like, I don't want to say I've got regrets, but a few things I would have done differently certainly would have been, in no particular order, changed my style up to be more amateur boxing friendly. put less pressure on myself, and probably not drink every weekend, because
Right.
I was like training like a dog and drinking
Yeah.
like partying like mad too.
I'd say I would have played for Dublin as well if I didn't drink.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah. And you start drinking heavy at like
15,
yeah,
16. Just got into it, and I would have had a shot anyway. Me and me brother played
Right,
minor
yeah.
for Dublin, but we loved going out, loved socialising, and now you see people that have finished up that didn't go for that, that actually were really well behaved all the way through. They finished their careers at, in their mid-30s playing Gaelic football or hurling, and now they're lost, and they don't.
There's a bit of that, yeah.
They don't have the balance there. They probably pushed everyone away. Well, they'd have other people in the community, I suppose,
Yeah.
in the GAA community, but there's like a counterbalance to everything, I think. You know what I mean?
No, of course. Like I mean, I see it all the time with boxers. They're always like talking about the old days, like Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Back in '83, I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Yeah.
Like always, like he's like, if coach had put me in last quarter, right
Yeah.
now I'd be soaking it up with my soulmate in a hot tub. Like
Yeah.
always looking at this one thing, different thing happen in life. So you can't go back and fix things.
No,
and I
you'd be
think-
tortured.
yeah.
Tortured. You're a film mad. I've gotten to know you well in the last couple of years, and you're always sending me films to watch.
And you never do.
Telling me no,
Butch
I'm
Cassidy?
brutal. I watch.
Butch
I haven't
Cassidy,
watched that. No, Netflix is it?
What's Netflix?
See, it's never on anything.
Yeah.
And Quinner, my mate, does this to me as well. He'll give me a film. He say, "This is the best movie of all time."
It's so exclusive. Nobody's ever seen it. No, you can't even watch it.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Where do I watch it?" He goes, "I don't know where I've seen it." Like, and I'm like, "What? Like, how am I supposed to watch it then? I don't have your Fire Stick, mate. Allegedly, I don't have. I don't have it. So like, where can I watch it? You're gonna send it to me? Like, well, then I'll have no memory left on me that phone.
It's a conundrum.
So yeah, if you're gonna recommend a film to someone, make sure it's on a platform that they have access to. That's what I'm gonna say. No offense, Terry.
Other platforms are available
Right.
as well than Netflix.
What is your if you're gonna recommend from an actor, movie buff? You're a movie fan. If you could recommend one movie to watch to the viewers and listeners, what would it be?
Jesus, big question. Well, recently, what I loved, Marty Supreme, I thought was fabulous. That was especially as a cinema movie, which obviously it's gone from the cinema now. Really high octane,
Timothy
really-
Chalamet,
yeah,
the modern day Brad Pitt,
yeah,
or something, isn't he?
or something like that.
Yeah.
The Safdie brothers, I think one of them directed it on his own. There, they kind of broke away. The other one did The Smashing Machine with The Rock recently.
Yeah.
Which is very different kind of film for those. It was much more fly in the wall, documentary kind of style almost. But they did like Uncut Gems and I think it's called Heaven Knows What. Good time as well, Rob. So they're kind of what they specialize in is really like high octane, like class, great soundtrack, kind of 80s kind of synth
Yeah.
kind of style, and really fast paced. Nearly always in New York, the movies, and they kind of like it's like an adrenaline rush of like usually a guy leading the film, and they're making mistakes. They're like robbing Peter to pay Paul, kind of thing. And you're going, no, don't do this thing, don't. But you're hooked. You can't watch. You can't look away.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Marty Supreme recently, I'd say. And if you're just to bring it back to boxing, maybe, underappreciated boxing movie. Well, in terms of people often ask me what's the most realistic of the fight scenes in boxing, and Raging Bull is probably one of the most entertaining, and it's always hailed as the most. The best boxing footage ever put on celluloid. But for me, the boxer, nowhere near as good a film now, Jim Sheridan, but the boxer, Daniel Day-Lewis, is much better. The fights in that are much more realistic, much closer to real life.
Yeah. Very good. Toughest opponent ever in the boxing ring?
Myself. The old demons, could tell some stories.
Yeah. Does anyone come to mind? Was there any like bruisers that you're just like, oh my god, we ever in the corner looking over going, oh my god, this fella is going to be tough to beat?
Yeah, several. I boxed the Russian guy, was pretty good. He was like, the Russians were kind of scary even before you fought them, very much like you in the mold of Ivan Drago kind of thing, like, Yeah, Roy Sheehan from a toy, he was like European
Your
number
nemesis.
one for a while. My nemesis, yeah, lovely guy by the way. He came to see my boxing show when I put it on
Did he?
in Dublin. Yeah, lovely guy. But he was all wrong for me style wise. He was European number one for a while, so he was really good. You know,
Yeah.
just a real tragedy. He never made the Olympics because he was by far good enough. It was a very, very convoluted and tough process to qualify for the Olympics
Right.
for a few years. Then, when all the Russian kind of countries broke off, became separate entities, there was only X amount of places to qualify from, like in Europe.
Yeah.
Whereas you get people from the Oceania who were like, you know, not to shit on them, but like wouldn't be able to lace the shoelaces of some of the boxers from Europe who couldn't qualify. Then they kind of subsequently made a bit of a more fair system, but for years there it was so, like in Sydney 2000 we had one boxer, 2004 one boxer, 2008 we had 5, and then it got better from there. But for 2 Olympic cycles, only one boxer could qualify because it was so tough.
Yeah.
Bernard
right.
Dunn couldn't qualify. He was world champion soon afterwards in the pros, you know.
Mm.
But yeah, Roy Sheehan was really good. He was probably my best Irish opponent anyway. And then I sparred some great guys. Like Darren Sutherland was in my club, and I started off in Mount Talent Boxing Club, then went to St. Saviour's. And Darren Sutherland used to spar with him all the time. He was really, really good. Olympic medalist. You know, lost to suicide too. Very sadly, he was an unbeaten professional at the time, 5-0 I think. He was hard work. He was a really tough spar. He'd spar, very unforgiving spar. You know, he would definitely put on you and spar.
You'd be glad to have the 16-ounce gloves on.
Absolutely, and he was a lot bigger than me too. So
Right.
I ran for my life sometimes.
Yeah. God. Yeah. Rest in peace to him.
God rest.
Sad times. Yeah, I mean, what you say about the difficulty of getting into the Olympics there, just kind of, I think, really speaks to the achievements of Katie Taylor and Kenneth Egan.
Kelly Harrington.
Kelly
all that,
Harrington.
yeah.
Bernard Dunn did get in the Olympics eventually, didn't
No,
he? He
no.
never did.
He was an alternate, so he came.
Wow.
I think it
It's
was
unbelievable to watch.
Yeah. Was it 2000 or 2004? 2000. Yeah, Michael Roach from Cork. He was our only Olympian. Lost in his first fight to a Turk, I believe. And Bernard Dunn came as an alternate, so that basically meant if anybody in his weight division dropped out, he would be there. He was in the Olympic Village, but eventually they kind of had to send him home. So a real shame
Yeah.
there. But yeah, the
I mean,
Olympics.
would you say it's fair to say that in the long run, it worked out for him
It worked out, but it would have worked out better if he had an Olympic medal.
as a pro?
Oh yeah, I mean, like look at Michael Conlon when he got, like he had an Olympic medal already from 2012, but he got robbed in Rio.
Yeah.
And the famous double middle finger to the judges who robbed him.
Oh.
That was great. Like he got like the highest sign-on fee of any Irish boxer ever to go pro,
Right.
because he was big news. So winning an Olympic medal puts an extra zero on the end of your paycheck when you start pro boxing, you know.
Yeah, but I will say that I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here and be like a bit romantic and idealistic here, but you'd wonder if Bernard Dunn had have got in and done well, would he have had the fire to go on and achieve what he did?
No, you're right. I'm going with you. He was he'd be an alcoholic. He'd be in a bar talking about, I should have won gold. Never mind that bronze in Sydney.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. It can be.
It could be.
You never know.
It does happen.
The old optimist comes out in me the odd time, Terry. You know.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, the old dreamer. There was one more little thing that you mentioned about the Froch and Groves fight. It was a little psychological thing you said to me earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
I said we'd mention it because I think it was pretty interesting. And it involves my little Rubik's Cube for the listeners.
Yeah.
The Rubik's Cube.
The Rubik's Cube brought it to mind. There was
Yeah.
for the Froch and Groves rematch, which kind of, if you look at like kind of the whole, if anyone's any interest in
Carl
boxing,
Froch, George Groves. What year? 2016, 15?
yeah,
Around
I'm gonna
then.
guess around 2016. The
Two
rematch.
guys who were in their prime at the
Yeah,
time.
well, Froch was the last ever fight, so Froch was like coming towards the end of it. I think he was about 38 years of age. Champ for many years, and George Groves, like really tough, proven career Froch had. George Groves was the young upstart. He fought him the first time, dropped him in the first round, was beating the shit out of him, and then got
Groves was beating
Groves
Froch.
beating the shit out of Froch against all odds, and then the ref jumped in and stopped the fight prematurely. So the rematch was a massive thing, and Eddie Hearn said like he was going to take a big punt on this rematch and put it in Wembley Stadium outdoors, which was like are you off your fucking chops?
Yeah.
His father, like, who was the original promoter of Matchroom Boxing, he completely thought Eddie had lost his mind. So if you look back to if you look now at the way boxing has become a stadium sport again in the UK, certainly the genesis of that was Froch against Groves, the rematch, because of all this bad blood between them, because of the contrast in personalities, and because of the premature stoppage of the ref.
Possible dodgy decision.
Brings
all the story together.
All
lovely.
of that together, all that perfect storm of events. But at the press conference for the rematch, Froch was speaking, and George Groves, instead of listening, he took out a Rubik's Cube, and he just started fiddling with the Rubik's Cube. And I'm going to say, I could be wrong on this, but maybe 2.5 minutes later he did that, and the thing was completed.
Wow.
And you might say it's completely unrelated to boxing, but that's like kind of mind games. He was kind of like, for me, it was kind of 2 or 3-fold. For one, he wasn't paying attention to Froch. He was making that clear. Whatever you say doesn't matter to me. 2, I'm smart. I'm clever enough to do this Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could do it right now if you wanted, but just don't want to show off. Yeah, me too. And then maybe 3, the audience are all looking at the Rubik's Cube, not Froch.
Yeah.
So it's kind of psychological warfare.
I must start doing that to guests now when they get a bit too big for their boots.
Yeah.
Hit them with that.
Just put it in front of them.
Yourself and the viewers.
Or maybe if you just do it with enough confidence, you wouldn't even have to fix it.
It's hard. I nearly got it before, but I gave up. That's why I use it for that now. Because I couldn't. Basically, the honest truth is, I could say what I want, but I got that Rubik's Cube because I wanted to learn how to do it. I failed, so now it's there, so I can get the value for money.
Yeah. And how much value are we getting from it at the moment?
It looks alright.
If you're it looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
And well, that's it. Like, you know,
rather a sponsor there or something. But
your time is your most important asset, really. If you want to waste an hour a day in a Rubik's Cube, what have you really accomplished?
You can YouTube it now.
And also, here's the other thing: they all come made already, don't they? They come complete. So just don't touch the thing if you want to. Yeah. So
no, you can check it out on YouTube. How to do it. Finish with a silly joke.
Thinking outside the box.
You're a bit of a square, Terry. Anyway, Terry,
do you shave your cubes or?
Yes, you're a very colourful character. leave it at that. We're level on jokes there, Harry.
I think so. Yeah.
I did the first one.
We talked a lot about boxing today.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. It was great having you, Terry. It's been a great chat. Thanks for coming all the way over.
Thanks for having me, mate.
To Blanche. Don't forget about our show every Sunday in Bruxelles, Sunday Heroes. We'd love to see some of you there if you're around.
Walk you home.
Walk you home,
Safety.
protect you, kick someone in the balls if they attack. And also, Terry, what do you want to share there going forward? What do you want to plug that's coming up?
So
your Instagram is?
My Instagram is, good question,
Tez O'Neill.
Tez O'Neill, Tez O'Neill, and I've got some shows coming up. The boxing show we mentioned, we're going to be doing a run out of that in the K Club in September, and several other pop-up gigs. I'm talking about hopefully either the Sugar Club or the Workman's Club soon, hopefully to be announced. So give me a follow and you'll see. And then the acting stuff, James Joyce show, Grace from the Dubliners. If any Joycean scholars, that's going to be in the Joyce Centre, 14th, 15th and 16th of June.
Brilliant. All right, one more question I meant to ask.
Oh.
This is a one word answer.
Right.
I want this now. I meant to ask you earlier, but who was better, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather?
Ali.
All right, there we go. Right, guys, this is the Dan Stevens Show. Don't forget to follow, like, rate 5 stars. Anything you can do wherever you're watching or listening to help the podcast, that'd be great. Donate in the link in the episode description if you want to. This is the Dan Stevens Show. Thank you, Terry O'Neill.
Thank you, mate.
It's been lovely. And I'm not going to ask you about your CTE. I was going to ask you about the head trauma, but I covered that with the last fella, the last guest. You're not going to beat him. Oh, Richie. Good man, Richie. Check out the last episode with Richie McGrath, who got a bad head trauma injury. Okay, I don't know why I said that after the outro, but anyway, good luck and thank you and goodbye.